JinPingMei Original Version Chapter 45. In response to the Earl's advice, Li Ping'er undressed Sister Yin. It is said that Simon King did not go to the Yamen because he was on vacation. When he got up in the morning, he looked at the front room and sent Diane to send the tabletops to Kiao's house. One is with Mrs. Kiao Wu, and the other is with Mrs. Kiao from a wealthy family. Both have high-top sugar cubes, seasonal fruits and the like. Mrs. Kiao Wu was rewarded with 2 square handkerchiefs and 3 coins of silver. Mrs. Kiao Wu was rewarded with a bolt of green silk. There is no need to elaborate. It turns out that Earl Ying has rushed to Huangxi's house since he said goodbye to Simon King. Huangxi also sealed him with 10 taels of silver in the morning and thanked him. The high official asked me to teach me how to celebrate the festival. But he was just talking about the relationship of the 500 taels of silver documents. How can you and I support our money and food? Earl Ying said. You, how much is enough now? Huangxi said. Brother Li San doesn't know. As long as you ask the minister to borrow it, you usually get 5 cents of profit. It's better to borrow the influence from the Yamen here, which saves money even for up and down use. Now let's lend another 50 silver coins and use the 1,000 taels together, so that we can earn interest every month. After hearing this, Earl Ying lowered his head and said, It doesn't matter. If I say it for you, how can your 6 men thank me? Huangxi said, I told Li San that I will give you another 5 taels of silver from the gang. The Earl said, Don't talk about 5 taels of silver. If you want me to use my means, 5 taels of silver can't cost you. I only need to say 1 word, and I will make every clever move for you. Today I will go to his house to have a drink. I won't go. Tomorrow he invites us to enjoy the lanterns at night. You two will buy things for dinner early tomorrow, and have a jar of Jinhua wine. Don't scream. He has Li Geier and Wu Yin'er at home, and they haven't gone yet. Invite 6 players in your courtyard and wait for me to lead them to you. He will ask you to just sit down. I will be beside you. I will do it for you with just a few words. Find out 500 taels of silver. Come. I'll make a total of 1,000 taels of documents, and after 1 month, I'll give him 30 taels of silver. I won't go there, and I'll just treat you as my wife for a month. As the saying goes, scholars are neither fake nor genuine. When bringing in money and food, add more wood to the incense, and add more tar to the wax. Where do you check the accounts? I don't want to fish. I just want to trouble the waters, and I can do things easily by relying on his reputation. So the plan was decided. The next day, Li San and Huangxi bought a wine gift, and the Earl led the boys. Carry it to Simon King's house. Simon King was clearing the table in the front hall when he saw the count arrive. Bodan said, I was too late to go home because I disturbed you here yesterday. Simon King said, I had a drink at Zhou Nangshuan's yesterday, and there was an update on the weather when I got home. The new relatives I haven't seen before left early. This morning, the Yamen was on holiday, so I didn't go either. After speaking and sitting down, the Earl called Li Jin, bring the gift in. After a while, the two carried it into the ceremony door and put it down. The Earl said, Brother Li and 4th Brother Huang have repeatedly told me that I have received your great kindness. I have nothing to do but buy some small gifts to show my filial piety to you. I saw 2 young men kowtowing forward. Simon King said, Why are you giving this gift again? I feel uncomfortable, so I taught him to carry it back. The Earl said, Brother, you don't want to let him go. Once you carry him out, you will be ugly as hell. He also wanted to call for singers to wait on him, but I stopped him and only asked 6 players to wait outside. Simon King said to the Earl, Since he has called for the future, why not send him away again? Why not invite them both to sit down? Without a sound of disapproval, the Earl called Li Jinlai and said, When you get home, tell your father, I have accepted the gift. No one is here to invite you. Ask your father and 4th Father Huang to come and sit here early. Then Li Jin promised to go ahead. After a moment, take the gift and go. He ordered Dan to reward him with 2 coins of silver and then kowtow to him. 6 players were waiting on him. After a while, the chess boy brought tea. Simon King had tea with the Earl and then asked the Earl to sit in the West Wing. Because he asked the Earl, Are you going to thank Zichin today? The Earl said, When I got up in the morning, Li San came to my place and watched as he sent away the gifts. Who has time to go and meet him? Simon King was a chess boy. Please come and thank me. After a while, the book boy set the table and set the meal. The two of them ate together and took the boy away. Simon King and the Count were gambling and drinking. The Earl took advantage of Zishi's rival and asked Simon King, "Brother, how much money will I get from Li Zi and Huang Si tomorrow?" Simon King said, "Take the old documents and get another 500 taels of silver documents." The Earl said, "That's all, brother. You might as well find 1,000 taels, and you can get the interest tomorrow. Let me say one more thing. You don't need that gold, so you can still give him 150 taels. I can't find much more." After Simon King heard this, he said, "You are right. I will find another 350 taels for him tomorrow, and just change the documents for 1,000 taels. The saved gold will be just idle at home." The two of them were fighting Shuanglu when they suddenly saw Diana coming and saying, "Bianci brought a large mother-of-pearl marble screen and 2 gongs and drums." He said they belonged to the White Emperor's relatives and wanted to pay 30 taels of silver. "Shouldn't Dad be inappropriate with him?" Simon King said, "Teach Bianci to bring it in and let me see." After a while, Benci and 2 others carried it in and placed it in the hole. Simon King and the Count left Shuanglu behind and walked out to take a look. It turned out to be a marble screen with mother-of-pearl and gold patterns that was 3 feet wide and 5 feet high, and could be placed on a table. The ends were clearly black and white. The Count watched for a while, then quietly said to Simon, "Brother, look carefully. It looks like a lion squatting in the house. The 2 gongs and drums are painted with gold makeup and carved with cloud heads. They're very neat." The man on the side urged him hard and said, "Brother, it's time to kill him. Not to mention the bronze drums, only 1 screen and phoenix, 50 taels of silver are still nowhere to be found." Simon King said, "I don't know if he will redeem himself tomorrow." The Earl said, "No, what can I redeem for? I make a living by driving downhill, and after 3 years, I will have equal profits for 7 books and 8 profits." Simon King said, "Forget it. Teach your brother-in-law to exchange 30 taels with him in the shop in front." Just after he was sent away, Simon King wiped the screen clean and placed it in the front of the hall. He looked around and saw the brilliant golden clouds. Because he asked, "Have the musicians eaten?" The piano boy said, "They are eating down below." Simon King said, "Ask him to play once after eating and I will listen." So a big drum was brought out from the hall, and gongs and drums were placed under the corridor. When they were played, the sound shook the sky, and the rhyme shocked the fish and birds. While I was playing, I saw the chess boy inviting Zishi to arrive. After he came in and sang with the 2 of them, Simon King said, "Zizichen, come here and estimate how much this screen is worth. The screen can be purchased for 100 taels of silver, even if it's a small one. He won't accept it." The Earl said, "Look, the 2 gongs, bronze drums, and clangs outside cost a total of 30 taels of silver." That Zishi clapped his hands and shouted, "My nan, why, where can I find a good job? Let alone the screen, 30 taels of silver can't afford these 2 gongs and drums. Look at these to the workmanship and vermilion paint on the shelf are all based on the model in the lawsuit. It weighs at least 40 kilograms of copper. How much silver should it be worth? It's no wonder that everything has its own owner. There is such a blessing as my brother. I came to find you with such a good price." After talking about it for a while, Simon King invited him to sit in the study. After a while, Li Zi and Huang Si also arrived. Simon King said, "Why do you bother to give gifts? I don't like you." Then Li Zi and Huang Si said in a panic, "The little man is frightened, and he is just asking Dad to reward people with trivial things. I am called by Dad, so I dare not come." So he moved his seat and sat horizontally. After a while, the young boy Hua Tunger brought 5 cups of tea and everyone ate them. After a while, Diane came up and asked, "Dad, where is the table?" Simon King said, "Just sit here." So Diane and the painting boy carried a table of 8 immortals and placed it on the brazier. The Count and Shi Da were on top, Simon King was in charge, and Li Zi and Huang Si sat on both sides. After a while, I took the chun chow and drank some wine, and served the meal with large plates, large bowls of soup, rice, and snacks. The wine is full of lamb, and the soup is full of peach waves. The musicians were all playing outside the window. Simon King asked Wu Yin'er to bring him wine at the table. Drinking in front was not a problem here, but he said that Sister Li Gui's family Bauer and Wu Yin'er's maid JinPingMei had both called sedans to pick her up. When Sister Gui heard Bauer coming, she hurriedly walked out of the door, talked quietly with Bauer for a long time, then returned to the upper room to say goodbye and go home. Yunyang stayed with him again and said, I am going to Wu Daguzi's house now, and you are taking me with me. You got up from his house even later, and you didn't use a sedan chair to accompany me every time I walked. Let's go home. Sister Gui said, Mother, I don't know. There is no one at home, and my sister is not at home. My fifth aunt invited many people to come to the box party. I don't know how to expect me. He waited for me all day yesterday, and when he was not in a hurry, don't let your General Bauer come to pick me up. If it's a normal day, I can stay with my mother for a few days. Seeing that he refused, Yunyang taught Yu Xiao to put a box of Yuang Shao and a box of sugar crisps in his original box, handed them to Bauer to carry, and sent him back with a tael of silver from Sister Gui. Sister Gui first said goodbye to Yunyang and everyone, and then his daughter sent him to the front, asked the painting boy to hold the felt bag for him, and then came to the door of the study to teach Diane to invite Simon King to speak. Diane slowly opened the curtain and entered the study, and asked Simon King, go to Sister Gui's house and ask Dad to speak. Earl Ying said, it turns out that Li Geyer, this little whore, hasn't gone yet. Simon King said, he just went home today, come out to the front. Sister Li kowtowed to Simon King 4 times, and then said, excuse me, Mom and Dad. Simon King said, you can go home tomorrow. Sister Gui said, there is no one at home, so my mother sent Bauer to pick her up in a sedan chair. Then he said, I have one more thing to say to Dad. Don't take the child out of my girl's room. My girl beat him a few more times last night. He is still young and doesn't know what he is doing. Eat me. I told him a few words and changed my mind from now on. He said he didn't dare to do it anymore. I sent him out. There was no one in my girl's room during the holiday. Isn't he worried? Since ancient times, the wooden fire stick is short and strong, hand-picked stabbing. Daddy will take care of me and keep this girl. Simon King said, since you dared to say so, just keep this slave. Then he told Diane, go back and tell your aunt not to call the matchmaker. Dan saw the painting boy holding Sister Gui's felt bag and said, take Aunt Gui's felt bag and wait for me to hold it. I'll teach the painting boy and talk about it later. The painting boy agreed and went all the way to the back. After Sister Gui finished talking to Simon King, she went to the window and shouted, Ying Huazi, I don't want to worship you anymore. Go to your parents' house. The Earl said, bring back the little thief whore, don't let him go, and ask him to sing a song with me. Sister Gui said, when your mother is free, she will sing to you. The Earl said, if you go home in broad daylight, it will benefit the thief and the little whore. If you fall into the dark, you will pick up several men. Sister Gui said, you're so sweaty. You're such a pretty girl. She laughed out loud. Dan followed and sent him to the sedan chair. Simon King talked to Sister Gui and then went to change clothes. Earl Ying said to see Zaida, Li Jia Geyer, this little whore, is a robber who really escaped from prison, and the thief loves the son of a man even more. On such a big day, he is willing to just live in someone else's house. The buster came to call him, and I don't know who is waiting for him at home. Zishadao, it's easy for you to guess, quietly whispering into the count's ear, like this. Before he could say a few words, the Earl said, tell me quietly, I don't know. After a while, Simon King's footsteps sounded, and the two of them fell silent. Then Earl Ying held Wu Yin'er in his arms, drank wine with him, and said, my goddaughter is gentle, soft, and 100 times better than the little whore Li's dog doesn't want. Wu Yin'er said with a smile, second father is easy to scold. 1 is just 1, and 100 is 100. Generally, there are wise and foolish people in a place, but one kecker is better than the other? Sister Gui, are not annoying you, Simon King. The Earl said, ask a thief and a dog. It's fair to say that he only cares about 6 people. The Earl said, don't worry about him. Let me live with my goddaughter. Come here, take the pipa and sing for me to listen to. Wu Yin'er was not in a hurry. He relaxed his jade fingers, straddled his silk gauze, put his pipa across his knees, and sang Liu Yaojian in a low voice. After the count drank wine, he thanked Saide again, and Wu Yin'er sang another song. Here Wu Yin'er serves wine, plays and sings. Let's talk about the painting boy walking behind. Yun Yang, Meng Yulu, Li Ping'er, eldest sister, Zui and the master were all sitting in the upper room, and the painting boy came in. Just when Yun Yang was about to ask him to call Lao Feng to take Xia Hui'er out, the painting boy said. Father told the young man to tell his aunt not to take him out. Yun Yang said, your father taught me to sell him. Why didn't he sell him again? Tell the truth. Who told your father that the teacher was going to take him out? Hua Tunger said. Just now, the little one was holding Aunt Gui on the blanket bough. Aunt Gui came to tell her father. Yongji left the general behind and let him go. Dad sent Dian in and told his mother, Dian won't come in. So he asked the younger one to come in. So he took the felt bag and sent it to Aunt Gui. After hearing this, Yun Yang felt a little annoyed in her heart and scolded Dian. The slaves who work hard and deceive the master are both thieves. The leader of the anger asked him to call him a matchmaker. He said, Father asked me to take him out. It turned out to be him. What a ghost. Now I'm going to send him off again and wait until he comes back to answer his question. Just as he was talking, Wu Yin'er came singing from the front. Yun Yang said to him, your Wintersweet family has come to pick you up. The Li family's Gyres family has gone. Why don't you want to go home too? Wu Yin'er said, my mother has left me here, and I'm going home again. It's obvious that she doesn't understand. Respected. Because he asked JinPingMei, what are you doing here? JinPingMei said, Mom asked me to come and see you. Wu Yin'er asked, nothing much going on at home. JinPingMei said, nothing much. Wu Yin'er said, since everything is fine, why did you come to pick me up? Just go to your house. Mother left me, and we went to Grandma Jin's house with all the other ladies in the evening. I came back from there and then went home. Having said that, Wintersweet will leave. Yun Yang said, you call him back and give him something to eat. Wu Yin'er said, your eldest grandma gave you something to eat. After waiting, she wrapped her clothes and took her home. She said to her mother, stop teaching and come in the sedan chair. I will leave home in the evening. Because he asked, why doesn't Wu Hua come? JinPingMei said, he is an eyesore at home. Yun Yang ordered Yu Xiao to lead Chimonanthus to the back, take down 2 bowls of meat, a plate of steamed buns, and a bottle of wine and send him to eat. Then he took his original box, packed a box of lantern festivals, and a box of tea and snacks, and brought them back to him. It turned out that Wu Yin'er's clothes and bag were placed in Li Ping'er's room. Li Ping'er had already found a set of dyed gold satin clothes, 2 gold-pinned scarves, and a tail of silver, and placed them in his felt bag with him. Wu Yin'er said happily, Mom, I don't want this dress. Then he said with a smile, I told my mother that I don't have a white coat to wear, so I took this satin dress away. It doesn't matter what old white silk coat I have. Just wear it with me. Li Ping'er said, my white coat is too big. How do you wear it? He called Yingchun, take the key and bring a piece of white silk from the big cupboard to Sister Yin. Tell your mother to teach the tailor to cut 2 good coats for you. Because he asked, do you want flowers or essentials? Wu Yin'er said, Mom, I'll just go for essentials. The picture is better than the armor. He smiled and said to Yingchun, I asked my sister to go upstairs again. I won't be filial tomorrow. I just sing songs and listen to my sister. After a while, Yingchun took a piece of Songjing Quoji in plain white silk from upstairs, with the number weight 38 tails written on it, and handed it to Wu Yin'er. Yin'er quickly kowtowed to Li Ping'er 4 times, then got up and bowed deeply to Yingchun 8 times. Li Ping'er said, Sister Yin, please wrap up this satin dress and make it a drinking outfit in the morning and evening. Wu Yin'er said, My mother rewarded me with white silk to make a coat. How can I wrap this coat again? Then she kowtowed and thanked her again. After a while, JinPingMei ate something and handed it to him to take home. Yunyang then said, Sister Yin, I only like you when you are like this. Li Gaier, who was out of school, and Qiao Zhongxi, yesterday and this morning, were just like tigers that couldn't stay. If they can't be kept, they just have to go home. At Kekara's house, are you so busy? You don't even care about singing anymore. When his family came to pick him up, he left without eating. Sister Yin, please stop studying with him. Wu Yin'er said, Good mother, here is my parents' house. Where is that place? I have Zhu Chu Gong for use elsewhere. How dare I use it here? Sister Gui is young and he is ignorant. Don't worry about my mother. Just as he was talking, Wu Dejinzi's family sent a servant to Dinger to invite him, saying, My mother, please go over to the 3 girls. At any rate, together with other mothers, Sister Gui and Sister Yin, please come over early. Please come again. Snow Girl also takes a walk. Yunyang said, When you get home, tell your mother that we will pack up now. Ernian can't go because her legs hurt, and he is at home looking after the house. Your uncle is having a drink in front of you today, but there is no one at home. And the sister behind you is not going either. I went to Sister Lika's house. I went with my eldest sister, Sister Yin, and the 6 of us. Don't worry about fixing anything at your house. Well, sit down for a while and come back in the evening. Because he asked Lai Dinger, Who did your family ask to sing there? Lai Dinger said, It's Sister Yu. Having said that, Lai Dinger will go first. Yunyang, together with Yulu, Jinlian, Li Ping'er, the eldest sister, and Wu Yin'er, told Simon King that she had ordered her nurse to look after her brother at home. They all dressed and tittied up, and a total of 6 sedans got up. He sent 3 young men, Ding Dianer, Ji Tunger, and Lai Aner, and for platoons of troops and sedans to Wu Dejinzi's house. Exactly, the scenery of thousands of wells is falling in spring, and the lights of thousands of gates are dim at night.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.